Hello, thank you. This is Razia Hotel, and we're here to discuss putting the enterprise into the enterprise system, which was written in 1998 by T.H. Davenport for the Harvard Business Review. This presentation will examine whether the article is still relevant almost 20 years after its published date. The article is a cautionary tale, really, that not all that glitters is gold. Davenport points out that the ERP systems guarantee the seamless integration of all the information flowing into and out of your company's multiple incompatible databases. Could it be true? Yeah, it probably is. But some companies have benefited, and it goes through some of the processes and explains some of the pitfalls. This is a classic representation of the enterprise system. Davenport raises the question of how different can the information flows and processes be from those of competitors, given the generic nature of the beast here. So the risk is serious. Losing a competitive advantage is a real possibility. You have your central database, and it's feeding out to the manufacturing applications. You have suppliers, you have customers, service applications, employees that get their information into the human resources applications, managers and stakeholders, and reporting applications that they're using, and inventory and supply, and it's all supposed to come together and work great and wonderful, and we all sing Kumbaya and make tons of money. But there's some real problems with that, because you have to integrate it into the existing business framework that you have, and you have to have lots of change from the processes that you've been using before to this new paradigm that you've gone to. Davenport also goes into some of the causes of the failure for companies that try to integrate different ERP systems. And the modules can give some mix and match, some flexibility, but the greatest gains from the software stem from greater integration, which comes with greater cost and greater risk of it failing, and more loss of culture and greater organizational disruption. So you've got to really decide, is this what you want to do? Is this the one that's going to fit most with the way that you do things? So you really need to understand the process that you're using and the processes that you're looking to go to, and how that's going to affect the company. So the systems have, of course, come a long way in 20 years, but the concerns are still relevant. This is, still very pertinent, I think. So, it's a generic solution, and it may erode the distinctiveness of your company. So the adoption of the system and which businesses should adopt and which should not will be determined by upper management will. The more mature the company is on a CMMI, we tend to advocate more towards greater implementation, but a more successful implementation at that as well. So even though the vendor would love to use a one-size-fits-all approach, some well-known companies have been able to go with a federalist, distributed, business unit-centric approach. This slide and the ones following it are interesting in that the implementation will come with budget overruns. No plan survives contact with reality in this case, and the reality is that the software vendor is there to sell their product. The implementation will come later. Budget overruns are to be expected with an integration that will affect so much of a business. And you can see here, 1/3 are coming in on budget. Very few are coming in below budget, but the majority are definitely over budget, and some over budget by 50 to 75%. How long will it take? Why does this matter? Well, during the implementation, your business units may be doubling up on data. They have to enter into one system, they have to enter into another, or they have to completely cease using a system until it is migrated. There will be issues and adjustments, and the longer those take, the more it will cost in terms of lost productivity, miscommunication, customer concerns about lost focus, and other issues. And here it's saying they're basically about 1/3 are falling in on schedule, and over schedule by a lot, and looks like we've got 5% who've come in earlier than scheduled. Good for them. Was all that hard work worth it? Did they realize the benefits? Looks like some of them didn't really get much benefit out of it, 0 to 30%, and some have hit 80 to 100% of the projected benefits, and some of them don't have a business case, so they don't really know what's going on, and some say there's no measurable benefits to date. So the slides show that not all the promises are true. The benefits may not come ever, And this could be due to a variety of factors. Perhaps the ERP system was not a good fit, or there wasn't sufficient headway at the top, or someone at the top had a political or personal reason to see a key proponent fail. Who are the players now? It's been 20 years. And this slide is showing the vendors by market share. So right now it looks like SAP is 6% of this market, which is $82 billion. So keep that in mind. 6% is still a big chunk of that. Then there's FIS Global, who acquired SunGard Data Systems. Oracle, well-known, Fiserv, Intuit. Cerner, who is into medical ERP, very big in that. Microsoft, Ericsson, Infor, still out there. And McKesson were in the top 10. But fully 72% of that market share, according to this chart anyway, is in another company's hands. So it's not even represented by those top 10. You know, they're going to be looking at getting all those, and some of those are looking to get into the top 10. So it's an ever-changing field, and the chart is also, you know, discussing these top 10 ERP vendors. 72% of that market share. That's an awful lot of money. So yes, it is still relevant. Just like not sticking your tongue to a cold metal pole, some advice will never be wrong. Not every company has integrated ERP software completely across their entire footprint, and there's a lot of money in the segment and plenty of growth. You know, a lot of places are going to have some ERP systems for different business units, and maybe they're not able to be integrated, or they can't move them from one to another, or you know, your plants are doing one thing, your business offices are doing another. So there's lots of variation out there, as many as there are companies. So questions. So here are the questions. Have you been a part of a software transition that went bad? Do you think the article is relevant? It has been nearly 20 years, long before the cloud or smartphones, and cars even still had CD players. What ERP systems are in use where you are now? Or if you can't identify one, which ones are you aware of? You know, just looking for you guys to respond. I know you'll respond, I'll respond back, and that'll probably be the end of it. But we're trying to stimulate a discussion here, so it's kind of difficult. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Look forward to your responses, and thank you.